Thank you. Welcome to our junior high band winter concert. We're very glad that you've chosen to spend your evening with us. Thanks to those of you who were at parent-teacher conferences tonight. It's always great to be involved in the educational life of your child, and we appreciate as teachers when we see parents and they're involved in what's going on with their students. That was our first song is called Taco Time because it's Tuesday, and that's what I'm looking forward to when I get home. So we'll try and make this brief. What's next? Eagle Ridge. Our next song, as you can see in the program, is a march. It's called Eagle Ridge March. All right, seventh graders are going to do one more, and then we're going to take a second to switch. Once the eighth graders get up here, I'll need to have them play for just a second, so don't clap when they play it first, because it won't be good. No. We're just going to warm up a little bit, because they haven't played it all tonight, and then we'll get going with the eighth grade part. So here is the seventh grade's last song. It's Band-tastic. Sorry for the delay. It's hard to just do stuff cold, so we want to make sure they played a little before we started. You'll notice on the back of on the front of the program, it's normally on the back, on the front of the program, our remaining concert in April, so please make a note of that. Save the date if you would. There were going to be 2 more concerts, but we have decided not to participate in a contest, which we host. The instrumentation, it's a lot of technical issues, it has nothing to do with the student's ability, has more to do with just, we didn't feel that it was the best use of our time, and so we will still be hosting it, and you're welcome to come, and I'm sure we'll have lots of students that will come and help as we host all these other hundreds and hundreds of middle school kids. You're welcome to come that weekend, but we will not be performing at that. So our last performance after tonight will be in April. And we'll make a couple more announcements as we go, but we've waited long enough. So here is the 8th grade band and their first song, Crunch Time. While we're waiting to set up for this next one, 8th grade parents, you may have already gotten, and if not, you'll be getting it again, a calendar for summer stuff, because if your child is continuing on next year, they'll be in the high school band, and we wanted to get that out really early because normally people try and plan vacations and such around camp, because camp is certainly very required. And so we're changing the date. We're moving earlier for a couple different reasons. We have some students involved in some summer music activities that we wanted to try to avoid if we could. And we're trying to avoid all of the sports practice. They're not really conflicts, because the coaches, as well as Mrs. Kleba and I and Mrs. Kaufman, try really hard to work out so we can share time, but it's better for both them and for us if we don't. And so we've moved up into July a little bit so we can try and avoid a lot of conflicts. And so if you haven't seen that yet, you might want to ask your student why. You also should be expecting to get that in the mail here probably in the next couple of weeks. So if you have any questions about any of that stuff, as always, feel free to let us know, and we'll be happy to answer any questions regarding schedule stuff. I know currently the counselors are scheduling for next year as we speak. If you have any questions about what that means to do high school, or 7th grade parents, what the difference is between 7th grade band and 8th grade band, you're more than welcome to ask me. I've instructed the high school band to be honest when if kids ask them questions about, hey, is it this? Can you do this and this? Can you balance this stuff out? And so none of them are supposed to lie, and they're supposed to tell you the real truth. And so if you have any questions about any of that stuff, any concerns that we can address, please let us know. Of course, the goal is always to have everyone keep playing, because everyone's worked so hard to this point. Why work hard for 4 years and then stop right when it gets super good? Would you say it's super good, Matt? Say Matt says it's super good. And Matt wouldn't lie to you. So, no, Isaac might, but Matt wouldn't. I'm just kidding, Isaac. I like you too. You all set now? Yay, okay. And Stonehenge Overture. two things before we go on. Thing number one, that was what they call a fugue. Thank you, Mr. Barman. That was what they call a fugue, which is when you sort of layer parts on top of each other. The common similarity would be like a round, like row, row, row your boat type of deal. And if you notice, it was one part had a part, and then they put it into another part, and they put it into another part, and they put it into, and so all those things have to line up just right. So that's actually very, very difficult to get that to happen. They did a really nice job in that. Moving on, we have Smokey Mountain Red. We weren't going to do this one. Not because it wasn't ready, but because I thought it would be too many songs. And Ruby gave me a please, Mr. Kaufman. And unlike at home, I actually gave in. So tonight we're doing Smoky Mountain Rhapsody. We will close this evening's concert Before we do, we want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. Thanks for all of your support for the performing arts and all the support for your students. We've been talking a lot with the students about a lot of different things and the importance of arts education in the school and what we provide that a lot of other things don't, as far as creativity, as far as forced teamwork. You can have group projects before, and this is really the ultimate group project. Everyone needs everyone to be better. There's no, I hope you're not as good as I am, so I can start over you. If we're all better, then we're all better. And if someone's not carrying their weight, we can't cut them, we can't send them to the bench. We all have to pitch in together. And so there's a million things, and we've been talking to the students about this, and you've seen some of them on the Facebook page in regards to performing arts, in regards to the higher achievement standards that students who are involved in performing arts reach. There was a study in Pittsburgh that students that participated in a performing ensemble, whether it be band, choir, orchestra, whatever, for more than 2 years in high school had a 0% dropout rate. As compared to none, which was a much higher rate. I believe it was in the double digits. This is a good thing, and your support is what makes that happen, and we thank you for all of the countless things that you do to help our students out, to whether it be instruments or polo shirts or throwing it in the wash at the last minute or blow drying it with a hair dryer because they forgot to wash it and they needed it for concert on Sunday, which happened at my house. But we really do appreciate, and we appreciate everything that you do, and I'm sure we'll continue to do. So 8th grade band has one more song, and then we'll be all done. So this is the Brigade. Seventh graders, let's go. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. Make sure you drive home safely. We're going to ask your all's help. There'll be one extra second. If you guys can grab a stand, and everyone comes up here and grabs a chair, and my high school people can supervise so it doesn't just fall apart, we'll be out of here in 2 seconds. Thanks again. Have a good night.